fascinating to me. I think it's a testament to the longevity of the game.
Well, I want to talk more about that, but let's introduce the players again.
Let's
MBL
do it.
is in the yellow. He is playing as the Berbers. It was free pick from any civ except Koreans and a civ they've used before. So Koreans and Vikings, I guess, for MBL. This is Jaguars, Den. I should point out that you start with a spear as a scout, and there are tons of Jaguars that spear can pick up in the middle. MBL using a spear to lure in his boar, which is unique.
Meanwhile, Tatoh bringing Jaguars back to his base.
yeah. It's kind of a meme. It's like a meme map that actually can work in competitive play. The other thing I forgot about this. We figured out when we did this 2 years ago, if players use their villagers to kill the Jaguars, you can get food from it, Dash.
Oh, okay. So he lured in the 2 Jaguars with the spear, and
intentionally, yeah. And it collects super fast. There's 100 food in each Jaguar.
That's fascinating.
It's been 2 years since we've done this, and Tatoh remembers.
Nicely done. Meanwhile, did you see MBL tried to lure that boar like 3 times with the spear, and then eventually had to send a villager out for it?
I mean, he has Berber villagers, which are they walk faster, so it wasn't that far.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's Magyars for Tatoh. I think Berbers and Magyars play out very similarly. Both have strong knights. Unfortunately, Magyars lack the camels, but they still have very strong knights and cav archers. And then for Berbers, they have knights, camels, and camel archers. So I think Berbers are better in the long run. We'll have to see how it plays out, man.
Yep.
It's Tatoh doing this again.
Oh, it's in the town center. I was like, where the hell is
the spear? Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to point this out because people who are new to the game, or they might be confused. If you're playing Yucatan or Black Forest, any map where you encounter Jaguars or wolves, this is not a thing. Don't sacrifice your villager lives to try and do this. It's a bug that we discovered by accident on this map only. And if you look at the villagers, I'll click one for you. Look how fast they bring in that food.
It's ridiculous how fast.
Yeah. It was discovered when MBL played Winchester. So MBL, he should know this. And Tatoh also, I didn't tell the players when Tatoh played Max 2 years ago, but they found out by accident.
Tatoh walking back into the pit here.
Yeah, now he's going to lure him up and take him to MBL, or at least he's going to try to, or maybe, no, I think he's going back to his base.
Is he going to, yeah, I guess I'll make it. Bringing 6 more Jaguars. My God.
It's something you have to respect about Tatoh, how he remembers those details.
Yep.
Because, again, I did not remind them or say anything about it because I forgot, and how he utilizes it. This is, let's see, a total of maybe 11 or 12 Jaguars, and that's 100 food a Jaguar. That's crazy. With no loom.
Yeah, I was like, ah.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
There you go. Well, this will be very interesting because his food eco is going to be phenomenal then.
Oh, it's crazy.
To MBL's.
Yeah,
I mean, MBL is on the deer. He's on the deer. Off to the side of his
that's
wood
good.
line, but...
That's good. I think it'll be a scout opening for both players. Tatoh probably has more resources in the bank, and he's gone up earlier, so again, he'll have a faster start. And I guess I should briefly talk about the other things of the map, like the golds and the stones. You can see the main gold here for Tatoh. He has a secondary. This can easily be house walled to the front where this drop-off happens. So we oftentimes see that, and then his stones on the right. I mean, there's golds and stones all over this map, so it's definitely a late-game style map.
For sure. Yeah, both players don't have awful maps. I kind of prefer Tato's slightly. His looks slightly easier to house wall. But both with backwood lines.
Mm-hmm.
And being so far apart from each other, I imagine they'll have the time to design their bases the way they want. More spears coming. Oh, MBL's now bringing spears.
Yeah, an offensive Jaguar rush.
He's left them by the gold.
You know, if you couldn't collect food from them, that could be really annoying. But now Tato's going to be like, oh, great. I didn't think I had the HP on my spear to do that again, so appreciate it, man.
Right.
I wonder if this is intentional from Tatoh to bring in more Jaguars. He created another spear and he's sending it forward. I think it is.
Yeah, I guess.
This is ridiculous. Meanwhile, MBL, oh, he's sending his own spears. Now, I don't think MBL knows. He's trying to send the Jaguars to Tatoh's base. He could just be feeding Tatoh what he wants. This is ridiculous.
I wouldn't be surprised to some degree if Tatoh just ends up kind of fast castling.
Yeah. Just create 3 or 4 scouts and then try and up as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Just passing, look at this.
This is hilarious. Oh my god, how many of them are there? There's 8.
Yeah. MBL's thinking, I got this. And Tatoh says, I recommend you to not bring me Jaguars. That's hilarious.
MBL's like, okay, I'll just go somewhere else.
And so Tatoh can see that the spear died there. He can see the Jaguars are there. I wonder if he tries to bring them in. This is great. I don't think MBL knows. This is funny stuff. Well, scouts from Tatoh, only 2 of them, but they are Magyar scouts with the extra attack arriving at MBL's wood line. MBL late with the spear, and he will lose her. Tatoh just needs to micro. Yeah, no worries there. He gets a kill.
Nicely done.
Also, MBL tried to build an outpost wall around her.
Oh, that would have been great.
Strong start for Tatoh here, Dash. Very strong.
Very, very strong start. I mean, he's got military numbers. He's got villager numbers. He's got resources in the bank.
Yep.
Well, actually, not many because he's spamming out the scouts, but he's got more wood.
Yeah, and on top of that, I love how he's bringing the Jags back with this woman.
Is she gonna die?
No, I think the Jags will run into each other as they chase.
Alright, they're slowing each other down.
Yeah, so let's see. We'll use his Vills. You can't kill the Jaguars with the TC; it'll just die.
Right.
Oh, he lost a Vill.
Oh.
There we go, MBL. You got a kill. I think the Magyar bonus paying off there though, because Magyar's one-shot Jags. Though.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of wood that he's saving by not having to build farms.
Yeah.
Like, he does not have to build nearly as many farms as MBL had to build. It's pretty big.
Chat is saying that MBL knows now. Does he know now? Did Tatoh actually say it? He just said, I recommend you not give me Jaguars. Maybe MBL figured it out. Let's see.
I saw MBL say true at one
point.
So
if you look underneath the TC, he could see the carcasses, so maybe he remembered then. Well, it's just ridiculous. The Tatoh with the lightning fast start. He has 250 food.
He's walled off the entire front of his base. I mean, still open on the sides, but
yeah, just needs to wall towards the edge of the map there, and he walls in 3 of his stones, 2 of his golds, and lots of wood lines.
God, he's already on 2 stables as well. This is what I mean by the amount of stone or extra wood that he had by not having to build farms. He's got a market, double stable, and a blacksmith up already.
Yeah, this is where it becomes a risk. Sometimes if you create extra scouts and your opponent has overspeared, like MBL often does, then you're delaying your castle time. So it's interesting he's gone for 2 stables. He stopped creating them, but he has 14 scouts. It wouldn't surprise me to see him get some upgrades on these in defense.
Wheelbarrow, so he'll likely just look to up when that's done.
Okay, Tatoh has collected 300 more food, guys. 300 more food than MBL, for those wondering. But MBL had to collect more wood to build farms to get his food. So Tatoh has a pretty big advantage. Oh, and there's a hole in the back corner here.
A hole in the back here. He's got the patrolling spears near the wood lines. He's got 3 spears close.
Yeah, you're right.
But no upgrades on those spears. Like, they can actually just die. If they go in one by one, then he just kills them with the scouts.
Yeah, and also, there's a hole. He's over-chopped on the wood line.
There's a little hole there.
And Tatoh has the extra attack on his scouts, so he could kill the spears easier. He could kill the bills easier, and he's killed 1 spear, 2, and maybe 3. This is really good for Tatoh.
Yeah, now MBL's bringing all of his 4 other spears over right now, but
Hey, he's throwing more out now as well. He's on stone, so in the castle age, he definitely wants to build a castle and go for camel archers. But Tatoh is going to be much
Tato's
faster to
up.
castle, yeah. And oh, he's going to switch into cav archers. You see the archer
This is
ranges.
interesting. Yeah, I just saw that on his farms.
So
Doesn't want to go for knights.
at the end of the day, that attack wasn't too bad for MBL. He held on there. He's back on wood. He can wall this backside. If he does that, his only vulnerable area that I can see is on the right-hand side, next to the TC.
Yeah, all of a sudden his gold is relatively safe. He gets, what's his stone at currently?
435.
So
Yeah.
So he'll get that castle up. Where the question is, where does he place it? Does he place it defensively near his blacksmith to control the 2 golds?
Yeah, exactly. I personally would put it there. I think right up on that hill by the blacksmith, and then you could delete the house between the blacksmith and the barracks to go through. You know, I think if Tatoh goes knights here, he has a strong early window to get in, do damage, but he's switching to cav archers, and that's a unit you need to mass, and that would be just enough time for MBL to get the castle up, I believe.
Right. Light cav upgrade for his, because he still has plenty of scouts remaining.
Yeah, bloodlines as well, so they'll be pretty tanky still, but MBL has plenty of spears. 3-range cav archers, and of course MBL is Berbers, so when he builds this castle, and he will get camel archers, and they're good against everything, but they are an anti-cav archer, so they're definitely good against CA.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and MBL did scout that. He has 3 scouts over at Tato's base, so he saw the archery ranges and the first couple calves come out, so he knows exactly what's coming.
Oh, wow, good point there. Yeah, he sees it. He's probably licking his lips now, like, oh, you want to go cav archers versus me? That's perfect. Yeah, and good guess on the castle placement.
Yeah. Boom.
The other thing is, I think Tatoh spotted that MBL was on stone later than we think. I think he just noticed that when he ran his scouts around when they were behind the wood line there, upgrading to light cav. He didn't know about that in feudal age, so maybe had he seen that the villagers were on stone, he would have stuck with knights. I don't know, but he'll have to do some damage now because once the camel archers start massing, it's going to be really tough.
Yeah, we got 2 TCs coming up at home for Tatoh now. I think as soon as he saw that castle start to go up, he realized he's not going to get much done.
Yeah.
Offensively now, so instead he's just going to transition into a 3 TC boom, try and get a larger eco lead, hit imp first, and then push.
Yep. And the disadvantage for MBL now is that economy, that his TCs are later, but he will have the military advantage once he gets the numbers.
Yep.
But for now, I like what Tato's doing. He's just keeping MBL at home. Even if he ends up losing a few CA, he at least knows where MBL will be at all times. And he's forced some house walls at the back.
The idols on the farms.
Yeah, very good. MBL's economy is definitely worse.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how this villager lead grows, because it's only 4 at the moment, but with the 3 TCs pumping out, 1 more TC up for MBL, so now it's 2 TCs against 3.
Yeah,
but
the lack of idle time for Tatoh as well. He hasn't really been touched all game, so
right.
All of his TC's working. We'll need to push, or not push, go to another wood line. But the only vulnerable area is the right-hand side, which I assume he'll house wall up. And this might go late game. I want to see what Tatoh does in late game versus Berbers.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if
Yeah.
you know, if you're Tatoh, you're seeing this castle go up, you know you're not gonna get much done. Like, what's your imp unit comp to win this game?
You need to immediately, well, first of all, when you see this, you need to immediately think this is going late game. So you need to protect the extra golds, find out where MBL might get extra stone, which Tato's been doing on the right-hand side as he loses CA, and get relics as well, I would say. So composition-wise, Dash, I see he's making skirms now. It's not as mobile as he would want, but maybe elite skirm and cavalier would be his option.
There you go. Yeah.
But MBL has cheaper knights and camels. So if MBL were to go Cavalier himself or go into camels, that kills that composition. So it's really tough for Tatoh here.
Ooh, these light cav just ran into a bunch of pikemen. He lost 4?
Yeah, 4 light cav, and he upgraded them and has done nothing with them. Oh, this is so interesting because now the Vil count has risen. It's still 2 TCs for MBL, and he has more idle time. So I like situations like this when one player has the best civ but the worst position in the match, and they have to try and use their civ advantage to come back. These camel archers,
yeah,
man.
so for camel archers they're wood and gold units, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, that's like maybe the one saving grace here for MBL is that if he's massing wood and gold units versus wood, gold, and food units coming out of Tatoh, that's how he gets back into this game.
The beautiful thing is the mobility for MBL. So he'll see these skirmishers. He won't like that. He'll lose one and run. So Tatoh sacrifices all mobility going for this unit, and MBL, of course, can add a knight or two. So for me, I think over the next 10 minutes, Tatoh needs to do or try to do a better job at getting those relics and just accepting his fate that MBL is going to be able to pretty much take better engagements. And because of that, Tatoh probably could have used the light cav to scout the other areas of the map and just try and bring in relics and then hope for the best in Imp.
So when we look at the scouting that's been done, how many of these relics do they see? Tatoh sees 1, 2, 3.
Yep. 3, and he can access 2 of them. MBL, he probably has worse scouting. No, he's scouting with those extra scouts there on the right-hand side, so he's working on seeing the extra golds and relics. All right. Well, they were able to pick these civilizations, and the pick for MBL was Berbers. We thought Tatoh was genius, and he was genius when he went with the choice with the Jags, but MBL's civ choice certainly going to be good for him now.
Yeah, MBL bringing 2 villagers forward.
Yeah, what is this for? 2 vills. Makes me think Siege Workshop when I see 2. There it is.
Yeah. Oh, interesting, because, okay, so he's got Siege Workshop, and 1 back at home.
Yeah.
He finally put his 3rd TC up.
And he'll go for a 2nd castle soon, too. He's at 350 stone. So he'll go for a 2nd castle, probably on the right-hand side, where that extra stone is there. Maybe next to a gold, but I feel like all the other golds are...
Like Imp.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the major difference here.
Yeah, he'll hit Imp first. He'll have a strong window with Bracer and whatever upgrades he might want to get. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I think that Tatoh is on stone so he could build a castle to go Trebs. I think early Imperial Age is where Tatoh has to win this game. Protect the Trebs and start trebbing down the castles from MBL, because that's the difference.
Let's see here. Tatoh does not see that forward Siege Workshop, but he's building his own right in front of it.
Uh-oh. What is that from MBL? Mangonel, a battering ram, and a Mangonel. So he definitely needs to buy himself some time. And oh, nice shot with that Mangonel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very nice.
Yeah, 2 good shots. He also killed 3 or 4 villagers and some skirmishers.
I mean, he just needs to move this battering ram. There it goes. Now he's going to take down this Siege Workshop. I'm not even sure it's worth Tatoh building those mangonels anymore.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to do enough versus the camel archers. So maybe he can trade 1 for 1 here. But, oh, actually, MBL has his on the hill. But, oh, Tatoh clicking it with the skirms. Nice job. This is precious time wasting for MBL. This is what he needed to buy himself that time to get to Imp.
This looks bad for Tatoh. The fact that he's having to throw his units in while in castle.
Yep.
Like with castle upgrades, as opposed to being able to wait until Imp.
On the plus side, the skirm losses weren't great, but on the plus side, once he gets Bracer, there's really nothing MBL can do to fight these skirmishers, besides maybe a few Mangonels, so we'll see about that. So
Right.
Tatoh needs to get into the position where he forces MBL to fight a unit that MBL doesn't do too well against in skirmishers. But man, the Mangonel holding MBL, has a lot of camel archers getting closer to Imp, and he's on his second castle now.
What a weird castle placement by Tatoh off to the top right. You see that?
Yeah, I think he wants to protect that space, but considering he doesn't even see the gold there, it is kind of peculiar. You would think he would have put it where he's now building that watchtower next to his TC.
I was about to say, yeah, he's now towering.
Yeah. Definitely a
man,
weird
this
placement. MBL has done a fantastic job with these Mangonels, man. He's killed a few knights because of this. Tatoh forced to send out knights to pick off the siege. He's killed plenty of skirms. 61 kills versus 30.
Yeah, the KD largely in favor of MBL, and at this point, now it's just momentum, right?
Yeah.
It's like he's also clicked up to Imp himself, and he hasn't lost anything for being second up.
Now, okay, look on the right-hand side of MBL's base. You see what Tatoh did with the CA? He had them patrolling there. He saw the gold, and he said, not today. So about 8 villagers down there, 7 villagers for MBL. MBL needs to address that. He is, but basically what I was touching on earlier, how since this is likely going to go late game, players need to be looking for that.
All right, 6 vills coming forward for Tatoh on the right side, so looking to apply some pressure now.
And he wants to build a TC there himself. Okay.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I like the aggressive. Yeah, he's sending them back now as soon as he sees those camel archers in the pikemen. But I like the choice to raid with those 5 cav archers. Like, just you have to pull attention off of the side of your base that you're losing.
Yeah.
He's regaining control of that left side as MBL's had to pull everything back.
Yeah, he's doing as much as he possibly can with his mobile units that do get countered. The CA, he just can't afford to really make them anymore.
TC just got found on the right side. He's going to lose all 6 of those.
Oh,
vills.
God, that's big. That's so big. Well played, MBL, to spot that.
Yeah, that's really good heads-up play.
I'm surprised MBL hasn't added a few more stables, in all honesty. Because if he was on 3 stables making light calf, I don't see how Tatoh could really beat this.
Right.
But full camel archer can beat skirms as well. They're that tanky, and he probably didn't want to sacrifice food because he wants to get the upgrades on these camel archers, which he will now do because he's an imp.
Yep. Imp comes through for MBL. The Cap Rams are starting production for Tatoh, so he's going to try and clear out this left side again.
Yep.
But another castle goes up on the right side for MBL to protect that gold and even threaten the one that Tatoh is trying to control.
Smart castle from MBL, because the only way he loses this game now, I think, is if he gets starved of resources and Tatoh can hit him on the right and the left. And so if he builds this castle, he not only denies that gold from Tatoh, but it kind of protects himself from any raids that Tatoh might send in.
Tatoh just bought 200 stone, so he's going to try and drop another castle. Don't know where yet.
Maybe left side. Yep, left side. There's a stone there, and that's right next to MBL's castle. He might try and treb war this.
But funnily enough, MBL already has a treb out on that side.
Yeah. He's gonna say, "What's up, Tatoh?"
Late to the treb game for Tatoh, being the first to imp. That castle goes up, which makes the TC for Tatoh on the right side useless.
And Tatoh does not see that. Oh, he barely sees that gold on the right hand side next to that weird castle he built.
Okay.
So that's good. But I think he needs to force the aggression fast here, and he's behind in the treb war, which is not a good sign.
No, not
more population though. It's just because of the civs we're doubting Tatoh, really.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's almost maxed out, right? Both at 120 vills, but double the military for Tatoh. Granted, it is largely skirms.
Yep.
But definitely has the numbers. The question is whether or not he can successfully push this first castle down, I think. He's got the 2 cap rams coming in. He's setting up his first treb, but I don't see how this treb's going to go down immediately to the camel archers.
Yeah, camel archers, it takes a while to kill trebs, but still, it's worth it to commit here. And the bombard cannons now from MBL. Yeah, that's
3
big.
3 trebs and a bombard. seriously concerned for Tatoh in this moment here.
Yeah, and he has very little food, probably because he's trying to switch into Cavalier, which, well, can kill Camel Archers, but the Camel Archers are pretty dang strong once they're elite.
Yep, say goodbye to that castle.
Yep.
On the other side, Tatoh's throwing up his own castle on that side as well, so he's going to try and play pressure on both sides. Like you said, he's going to hope that if he catches MBL sleeping, you know, he can get a momentum-based push on one side or the other and start starving him of resources. But at the moment, MBL's just playing super intelligent defense.
Yeah, he's a very good defensive player, as we saw in Game 1. Tatoh, he's limited with what he can do with his aggression. I think that because he has the map control, there's an opportunity here, but he hasn't really found an opening yet. MBL is just closing him down every side he goes to.
Yeah, he tried to raid a bit with the skirms in the base. It's not going to be enough.
It was interesting, Micro. I think he killed about 5 vills, but when MBL is on 3 or 4 TCs and 133 vills, it doesn't really amount to much.
Exactly. The left side push was entirely stopped for Tatoh. He does have his Cavalier out, so we'll see how many of those he decides to produce.
Yeah, this basically needs to be a surprise, and Tatoh, he's hoping that he won't see the same thing from MBL, and that's exactly what MBL will go for. He's made a few knights himself, lacking the food because his previous composition was heavy on wood and gold, but if he can get the upgrades, it'll be tough for Tatoh. And Tatoh's gonna kill a castle on the right-hand side. Dash.
This one goes down. Yeah, he was able to repair through on the other side. He still has to kill those 2 trebs to make sure that that castle doesn't go down.
Yeah, and I don't think he can approach this smart, intelligent patrol from MBL just staying behind his trebs. It's baiting Tatoh to come out. And here come the Cavalier.
He's going to show the Cavalier.
Yeah. I think 1 treb dies here, but I think a lot of the Cavalier do as well. So both players lose castles, and it's still, Tatoh has 192 military, and he's not being pressured at home. All the fights that he's losing are in MBL's areas, so maybe there's a chance here, Dash. Like, he hasn't died off yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at his resources. He has 2 gold piles left at home. He moved on to that weird 4 on the right side.
Yep.
And then he did start collecting the relics. He's got 1 in the bank, and I know he's bringing 1 back with a monk currently. Yeah, it's about to arrive.
Yep, heavy camel for MBL. Yeah, I mean, that castle goes right back up. Tatoh just builds another one. He keeps all of his trebs alive there within repairs. Both trebs were being repaired with separate vills. And now the skirms are coming on the right-hand side to accompany the Cavalier. And it's just not very convincing from MBL considering his civ.
No. Now the question is, what's MBL going to do on the left side? Because he's got those 3 trebs that he had and the 2 bombard cannons. Like, he's got the siege set up for a good push.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have any supporting units to actually do anything on the left side right now because he's too busy defending on the right side.
Now, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything here, or act like I'm a better player or more intelligent than MBL, but remember I mentioned the light cav. I said if MBL added just 3 stables and went with light cav, didn't upgrade to elite camel archer, just light cav and that big ball of camel archers, he could kill those skirms and push out. MBL never really went with a play to push out yet. Like, he's just now getting to heavy camel. It's because all of this is so expensive. So I think that's where MBL went wrong, and right now he could lose so many vills on the right. In fact, I think the TC will drop regardless.
Yeah, I mean, the trebs go up. You can see that, like, Tatoh is very clearly committing now to the right side. It's like, this is his winning push. If he can do enough damage here, control both these golds, because he's got his TC back up on the one near the castle. He's going to just take this gold away from MBL. Then all of a sudden, with the relics and the gold piles in his control, like, he can just resource win the game.
Oh, and the micro is exceptional there. He's killed plenty of camel archers. He's now sending in the Cavalier. MBL, he's equal to it though, and he'll kill all the Cavalier. But I like the fact that Tatoh is forcing MBL's hand. He's making sure that MBL is responding, and he's being proactive. And now Paladin for Tatoh, and he'll pack up the trebs, but he'll probably be sending in another wave soon.
Tatoh found the gold on the left side too, so now he's definitely not starved for resources. He'll be able to keep up Paladin production for a while.
Wow, this is so good from Tatoh. I mean, MBL, he has not played a bad game here. He is elite Camel Archer, and he's pushing back over with Trebs to engage this area on the right-hand side. But Tatoh, incredibly impressive considering the civs.
Hey, there's that light cab you were talking about.
Yeah, there we go. Is it too late, though? Because now Tatoh will have Paladins on both sides. He wasn't in a position to tech switch into Many Cavalier when he first hit Imp. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he's building a small force of Camel Archers on the left side again. I think this is smart. He's got to play both fronts. He's repelled the push for now on the right side. Now he needs to create pressure on the other side as well.
And Tatoh, he's just strolling right by this new castle with a Treb and 2 capped rams. He knows that this castle will not go up. MBL deletes that castle, wasting a lot of stone. And he's also losing Camel Archers and Villagers. The Treb might die, but that's a better engagement for Tatoh, I think, with all the gold units that have gone down.
The Trebs go down for Tatoh, and his castle's under fire. I don't know if he has enough Paladins out.
Yeah, Paladins are so expensive, as are the heavy camels and the Camel Archers. Oh, this is great for MBL. MBL will keep his Treb up. He has a Bombard Cannon, and he will force repairs out of Tatoh. Tatoh lost all of his repair villagers and 3 Trebs.
God, what an exciting... I love this game because of the fact that, like, for whatever reason, you know, because of neither player wants to go into the middle because of hill disadvantage.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they are absolutely forced to fight 2 different battles at one time, which is so cool. Normally you'll see players just kind of bottleneck into one area until someone eventually wins it, but this is so much of a push and a pull.
Yeah, and it's like one person pushes on the right-hand side and then they lose the left-hand side. Back and forth. And it's not just about resources to those watching this, it's also about pop space. Because these guys are maxing out at 200 pop. If you have 10 additional population that you really didn't need to win a fight on one side, you could lose the other side. So it's really exciting stuff. Tatoh with lots of gold, but maybe now MBL finally getting to the critical mass of heavy camels and Camel Archers.
Yeah. At this point, it's all about the rock, paper, scissors of unit comp. Making sure you're swapping properly, because we've got the barracks now coming up for Tatoh on the left side, because he sees the light cav, he knows he needs something to deal with them.
That is
coming out.
That is a good sign for MBL. If you have an archer unit and you forced your opponent to go into Halberdier, which is slow and gets killed by archers, that means you're doing a good job. And he's taking control of both sides now. MBL might just be getting closer to the victory.
Yeah, it is looking like Tatoh has, you know, run out of steam in terms of he's got the Paladins coming over. That's like the one saving grace.
Yeah.
And he does still have access to gold, but
it's not going to be enough, at least on that side with the elite Camel Archers, which will now heal with the unique tech just completing.
Yep.
It's perfect for late game. If you just keep your ball of Camel Archers alive, they'll heal up and you can just raid with something else in the meanwhile.
Yeah, Tato's going to concede the stone, and the castle will go up from MBL, so that means all of these barracks go down as soon as he's built them.
Yeah, exactly. And he's already losing Halbs. The KD has been in MBL's favor for a while, but it's getting even worse and worse now for Tatoh. I think he's slowly running out of steam here. 67 military units, 68 now for MBL, and it's military that Tatoh, he can't really counter.
Yep, on the right side, exactly. He's got, I think MBL's done a very intelligent thing. He's got a good pack of about, 15 to 20 archers on either side of the map now.
Yep.
He's no longer using them as a single death ball.
Yeah, that was what caused him problems before, which was when he was lacking the archers. Also should point out that it's 3 relics for MBL.
Yep.
So it's 3-2 with the relics, and Tatoh could possibly soon lose his gold.
Yeah, Tatoh with the guard tower defense on the left side gold at this point.
Typical Tatoh. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but it's certainly not a good sign.
Yep. And these Camel Archers on the right side are dealing with the skirms just fine. I mean, he's losing a few, but
it gets difficult now because in MBL's position on the right-hand side, wow, he's mopping up those skirms.
Yeah.
But if he were to need reinforcements here, it takes some time to send in more units, and it takes a lot of attention to detail too. So it'll probably be slow, but this is looking very good for MBL now. 200 population versus 150 of Tatoh, and I don't think Tatoh has any answers to this, Dash.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, he's completely lost control of both sides. He's only on one gold now.
Yep.
There's the GG.
What a game, man. That was awesome.
What a game.
That was
a ton of
awesome.
fun.
I did not expect Tatoh to do so well there at all.
Nope. It was interesting because we were looking at, if you recall all the way to the beginning, we were looking at just even the food advantage that Tatoh had from the Jaguars. You know, so early on. But then because both players found their way of kind of walling up, and MBL with a really impressive defensive play at home meant, okay, now we're going to imp. And that little bit of a food eco difference at the beginning of the game didn't mean anything anymore.
MBL was in a position to be a little bit greedy by not adding light cav because his late game composition was always going to be better. So while it wasn't really convincing for a while there in Imperial, I think he knew that he just needed to hold, and then it would be good for him.
Right.
I don't know. It's really difficult for me to say Tatoh played this one poorly because he's so out-civved, but maybe he could attempt to do more in Feudal Age. Remember he had those scouts?
Yeah, I think he either could have attempted to do more in Feudal, or, again, I think he could have, since he had to have known he was going to castle that much sooner.
Yeah.
His other option was to like swap onto stone and actually be aggressive by castling.
Yep, this is true.
Because MBL was the first person to get a castle up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and start getting those camel archers out. And I think that when Tatoh saw how defensive MBL was being, but he was defensive in a way that made his base very small. Like, if you remember,
exactly, yeah.
when he was in Feudal and Castle, like, he actually didn't have a lot of space. And I think if Tatoh did a better job of controlling the space around him and confining him to that, then he probably would have won from map control. But, I mean, yeah, MBL played very intelligent.
It could have come down to that right-hand side. That right-hand side where those golds were. If Tatoh, remember, he denied the TC from MBL, but then his TC got denied.
And then his TC went down, yep.
Possibly, had he controlled that side, then those back and forth pushes would have been easier for him because MBL would have been starved of res.
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome game. Really enjoying the co-cast, by the way. It's been a blast.
I mean, you make it easy on me.
Well, that's good to hear. There's the resource difference.
Questions. 911 Pig Squad. I've been playing Age of Empires since Age of Empires, came out 20 however many years ago.
Yeah.
But I obviously stopped playing as I moved on to other games, and then just about a year and a half ago, I think I just saw it on Twitch somehow and was like, wait, people still play? That's so
the
cool.
Normal response.
Yeah, I was like, wait, people still play? That's so cool. I want to play too. And so I downloaded Voobly and all that and went and got my ass kicked a bunch. But it's been fun.
So, Dash, you're experienced. I need to step away for 2 minutes